What's going on, YouTube? Rukari here with Chapter 11 of the Minotaur Hotel, and I have a confession to make. I've read all this. I recorded a few episodes of a few things, and I didn't have my mic audio set up properly, so it didn't record. And the thing with a visual novel is that you kind of have to read the novel. So, here we are. Fresh start. Everything is new. Definitely haven't played through this before, definitely haven't figured out the answers already or anything like that, so we're just gonna go for it, okay? Okay. You awaken, but unlike the other days, it is not because of the clopping of hooves. No, this fine morning you leap out of bed with a breathless urgency. Shut up, phone! There is the distant but unmistakable sound of a flute. A chill snakes up your spine to the back of your skull. Snake, That's the clever word play right there. This is why we're a literature major. Arts, whatever it's called. As soon as you get out of your room, you find Asterion sitting at the dinner table, looking at his own hands, speechless. Just the sound of your footsteps makes his head jerk to you, ears whipping around. Visions of Argos, the snake, are already flashing through the Minotaur's mind. You tell him to stay. Today you'll deal with the foreman by yourself. You make your way down. The snake's wooden flute beckons you. The melody is at times disconcerting in how large the gaps between the notes are. So much is left to the imagination. It is more of a tribal call than it is a song, one you'd hear as a sign between villages sending messages to each other. The notes draw your steps forward. The loose rocks at the bottom of the hotel shudder as you hop from one to the other. It's a balancing act, each one a scale shifting under your weight. You keep your feet tense and arms spread out. At times, it is almost as if the rocks sway in your favor to keep your center of gravity aligned. You feel the sun's warmth on your head first, combing over your skull, then the pinks, oranges, and blues of the land are laid bare before you. There at the threshold, it is clear how the wind howls and groans as it slithers into the hotel's cave and crawls upwards. A constant chilly breeze prickles your skin, but it's not altogether unpleasant. The cold makes your own inner warmth all the more alive. It is you, a flickering speck of humanity against the unyielding majesty of this haunted valley. And there's the snaky bastard himself. Argos' song ends with an extended note, at first grave as it drifts across the valley, but turning lively just a moment before it ceases. Keep your tongue in your mouth, you snaky bastard. The snake looks down at you from the statue, no less than 5 meters above you. The difference would leave many uncomfortable. How easy would it be for him to pounce on you? But the snake holds his flute with both hands, almost cradling it against his chest. With his arms close together, he seems altogether small, even if that silver-tongued smile persists. He too takes a moment to look you up and down. He covers his mouth to stifle a burst of childlike giggling. My bright-eyed lord, once more it is an honor to witness your grace. A fine day it is, and always shall be, when your countenance blesses this valley. To be given a purpose, what is a watchdog good for, with no master to follow and no heifer to guard? I hope your experience so far has been as enriching as mine. Tell me, has the mirror provided thee with comfort? Has your first batch of guests arrived? The snake leans forward, eager for your every word. Were he not coiled around the statue, he would fall like a wet noodle, but that seems to bring him no discomfort. In fact, it almost seems as if he wants to climb down and meet you eye to eye. His slitted gaze does not budge from you, following even the smallest shifts in your posture. It is not often such intense focus is placed on anyone. Discomfort would be a common reaction, yet his gaze lacks a predatory edge. I'm doing well, Argos. The mirror has been very useful. The hotel changed completely after we got the fire going. I am giving you the bare minimum of emotion I can so you don't get any funny ideas, yes, leopard-spotted prick. It's incredible what this realm can accomplish. Asterion was showing me some of its capacities, and we have people working on some technology right now. I see. Very well, indeed it is the prisoner's duty to inform you of the realm's workings. his obligations must not be neglected. But I cannot lie. It is no surprise our Lord cares so much about technology. That indeed is human nature, to always seek change and movement. These plain walls shall not entertain a man for long, and if you shall not spend your time putting the hybrid through his trials, then technology becomes all the more imperative. Human nature, like fire, requires fresh kindling often. What do you know about human nature? You are no man, and what have you seen of humanity in this place? And about technology, how can you know anything? Judging by what I can see, the most you've ever mastered is leatherworking and wood carving. Ah, our lord has a sharp tongue. Indeed, I know very little. Never have I ventured beyond this valley, and forever will I remain here. But I know of the gods, and of the heroes' old tales. I am an old-fashioned snake. All the epics I have memorized, all their beautiful poetry. Mankind at times displays qualities which exceed the gods. I do not scoff at human ingenuity, my lord. Especially now when it comes to torture and shit. We know you, we know you. To diminish the importance of wit would be very unsnake-like of me, would it not? I'd find it really funny if you were a hybrid and you just didn't know it. Like, imagine the soul-crushing revelation of being like, no, I'm better than him. And then to just get completely butt-actualied. Oh, that would be beautiful to see. Alas, what a beautiful way for us to arrive at the purpose of today's visit. My bright-eyed lord, I have a contract ready for your signature. Good. Stop dawdling and let's do it. He reaches in under his cloak, but stops while containing a giggle. Before we proceed, I should ask for your forgiveness. I made a grave mistake while drafting that previous version. As it were, it implied I would have a right to enter and inspect the hotel, and that, as we both know, is forbidden by ancient law. We would be symmetrically bound by the article. Since you could inspect my accommodations, so would I be able to inspect yours. What an honor it is to serve a lord as sharp-eyed as you. I see the qualities of a bright-eyed Athena in you. I am sure it was her hand which plucked you from among mankind. Actually, it was this creepy old dude who I think was going senile, but sure, Athena, sure. He throws you the scroll. You take a good look at all the articles. Now you can say for sure this contract is correct and delightfully in your favor. It states that you have the right to inspect the foreman's housing while reinforcing the ancient law which forbids the valley creatures from entering the hotel. No tricks this time. Good. Certainly not. You may think my words are flattery, but today I am inspired only by honesty. I respect a bright-eyed man who can cut truth from deceit. Ah, what fun we shall have, you and I. A privilege it is to serve a master such as you. Fun? I'm afraid I disagree. I think this is the worst, and you can go suck a whole bag of dicks. Your definition of fun involves a lot of torture, which is something this realm will be deprived of during my management. I believe your life with me around will be one of intense, unending boredom. Perhaps you should ask your gods to have you removed. Ah, but there lies the fun. It all comes down to human nature. All of your kind grow bored of it all. The monotony, day in and out. Always the same thing. And there, right up there, is that hybrid. You can do whatever your heart desires. He cannot defend himself, and if such is your command, neither will he tell anyone about it. There is an allure to it. Is it not entertaining, stimulating even, to see one such as him suffering, a wretched being put through the extremes he deserves? To see your inevitable change, that, to me, will be the greatest spectacle. It is clear to see that you and I shall be dear friends in due time. If it were for the fact that I'm contractually obligated not to, I would skin you alive and wear you like a snake skin. No, not even a snake skin coat. You will be snake skin boots. Fat chance, you still have a lot to learn about human nature. Well, are we done here? I'd very much like to go back to my hotel. No, not yet. First, sign the contract, and then there is one more topic we must discuss. You sign it and throw it back up to the snake. Very good. Now I have some information that might interest you. It is quite a simple affair. I have found a bottle of wine, that special kind which heals the Minotaur. It is quite a rare thing nowadays, since it cannot be willfully created by the masters. It has a penchant for appearing mostly, but not exclusively, here in the valley. Of course, I am forbidden from drinking it, and it is useless to me anyway. So, I am willing to part with it, if certain conditions are met. What do you say, master? Are you willing to barter with this humble servant? Do I even have a choice in this matter? Yeah, but I want to know exactly what your terms are before I get involved. Of course. In fact, I want you to listen very carefully to my conditions. They are very specific. I have been thinking about them for such a long time. You have too much time on your hands. You should take up a hobby, maybe macrame. When you put it like that, it's almost as if there was some kind of twist. Such an honorable snake like yourself wouldn't do that, would you? Me? Trick the master? I'd never. You see, it is my duty to make sure you become a right and proper master, and that includes teaching you the importance of contracts, both written and verbal. Let's discard all pretense, yes? Allow yourself to be tricked, and I will take the opportunity. But know that it's for your own good, master. It will be a magnificent learning opportunity either way. Now, I shall recite my conditions. Good, go on, let's get this over with. So essentially what he's saying is, oh, I would never trick the master because the master is too good to be tricked. If you're tricked by me, then, well, you're not really the master. Just last night, after I finished my prayers and rites, I found a bottle of wine. Now, I thought about giving it to you. After all, you are the Lord. But why not take this as a fun bonding moment? I shall give it to you if you do this one specific thing for me. I want you to prove your piety to the divine. After all, the realm's master is supposed to serve them and enact their will. Is he not? In ancient times, a hecatomb would be enacted. 100 bulls would be sacrificed to the gods, but today's humans seldom enjoy getting their hands dirty. Here's what must be done. Further to the east, you shall find a dry riverbed beside an old broken-down set of kilns. There you'll find a fitting sacrifice. There should be a bundle with a hardened lump, not too different from coal, inside the most decayed of all kilns. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. To the south of the hotel, the valley goes further down, until it reaches a plateau. There is a path to its top, where you will find shrines to a few deities. Old, majestic shrines to the gods, created by the deities themselves when this realm was born. Pick any of the god-made shrines and burn the offering. Wait. So you'll only give me this bottle if I venture into the valley and fetch this thing? First of all, how can I be sure this is not a fake bottle? How could I know you're not giving me false directions? It's absolutely necessary for me to prove my piety to gods in this way. Can't I just order you to give me the bottle since as you say you're my servant? How will I know what the sacrifice looks like? In the name of the gods! Why so many questions, master? I am giving you a kind offer. I'll admit expecting some effort on your part. And this is how you repay me? Pelting me with questions? Yeah, what else am I supposed to do, asshat? Very well. Let's make a game of this, shall we? I've had enough of your games, Argos. Would you rather I answer none of your inquiries, master? Fine. What do you want? I will repeat everything I just said. You can interrupt me at any time to ask what you want, but I will only allow you to do it 3 times. 3 times. That's it? 9 terms, 3 interruptions. I would say that is fair to you, maybe. But unfortunately for me, I literally have nothing else to agree with because I didn't pick the charismatic leader option. We're just an artist. You decide to be happy with what you're given and not press Argos for more. Fine. Splendid. I will repeat my terms then. So, I have done this already, so I kind of know what we want to talk about. You can pretty much assume that it is, in fact, a bottle of wine. We're not worried about that. If you question him here, he'll let you know that, well, I can only be bossed around if it's in line with torturing the cow, and, you know, you're not doing that, so you don't need to worry too much about proving your piety to the divine. You don't really need to know any more about enacting hecatombs. All he comments on is about sacrificing the same bull 100 times. Further to east, you find a dry riverbed beside an oak broken outside of kilns. He'll give you directions for it. There you'll find a fitting sacrifice. There should be a bundle with a hardened lump, not too different from coal inside the most decayed of the kilns. This is a good one to question because it gives you a little secret about the kilns. How do I know that's going to be there? You can trust me. I left it there myself for you to find, my good lord. It should be easy to find. It's just sitting there inside the broken kiln. It was used for cooking clay pots long ago, but it's useless now. Just open it up and the sacrifice will be in front of the door. May I add there are some other trinkets behind the kilns too, if you want to check that out. That sounds needlessly convoluted. Why didn't you just give it to me? Why do I have to go all the way there to find it? To test your faith, of course. A sacrifice is only worth the effort required to perform it. If I just gave it to you, it'd be no sacrifice at all. You must take the offering and burn it, dedicating it to the divine. This is the second one you need to question. There's no other way to sacrifice it? Because this gives you a hint about the sacrificing. Absolutely not. Since ancient times, that is how flesh has been dedicated to the gods. That becomes important later on. To the south of the hotel, the valley goes further down. He'll tell you, he'll just give you directions afterwards. And finally, old majestic shrines to the gods created by the deities themselves when this realm was born. Pick any of the god-made shrines and burn the offering. One of the god-made shrines. Are you implying one of them is not god-made? Perhaps. Oh my, aren't you a sharp one? One of the shrines, the smallest, shyest one by far, is dedicated to some forgotten deity dating back to who knows when. Such a diminutive thing, it's just a cairn, a pile of rocks, with a length of fabric tied around it. I suppose it's some ancient form of worship. Whatever it is, I assure you it pays no homage to the Olympians, and that should be reason alone to avoid it. Worst of all, I'm afraid it was erected by the bull himself. It bears no legitimacy. Ignore it. I have no duty to give you the bottle should you offer the sacrifice to it. With that said, any one of the god-made shrines will do, and I really do mean it. Hint for later. I hope you're satisfied with your inquiries, master. So that's the task at hand, then. Make a sacrifice and prove my piety to the gods, and then you'll give me the bottle. Haven't I kept my word so far, master? I'll think about it. Maybe I should ask Asterion, get a heads up on what I might find here. Must you always involve the prisoner in all your affairs? Very well, then. Go back to the creature. However, when you climb up the stairs and up to your hotel, make sure to climb 2 steps at a time. After all, I don't know how much longer I can keep holding on to this bottle without letting it slip and shatter. I can be so clumsy sometimes. Excuse me? Yes, I do think that is a thing that might happen if your devotion to the gods is not proven in, let's say, 2 days. Does that work for you? Wait, 2 days? You can't be serious. That wasn't part of the deal. Oh, so you think piety is something someone can procrastinate on, is it? Well, that's just wonderful. Some master you are. You know, I'm beginning to have second thoughts about this bottle. Maybe you really are not worthy after all. Say, I am feeling awfully thirsty this morning. Fine. 2 days it is, so long as you don't make up any more stupid rules. Do we have a deal? The snake slithers closer to you. You flinch for a second, but when you look back, you see his hand outstretched towards you. Argos sports the widest grin he's given you so far. Sounds good to me, master. Don't have a choice but to shake her hand, but I'd rather kick you in your cloaca. You're out of options, and whatever loops he might make you jump through are worth the reward. You shake Argus' hand, but you make your disgust clear by wrenching your hand out of his grip when it's over. The serpent laughs at you. Well then, no time to waste. Up you go. You turn around and start walking backwards toward the cave. This is not how you expected your morning to start. As you make your way, Argos' words echo in your head, and the full weight of the task at hand begins to dawn on you. As you recall his last line, you notice your feet are picking up the pace. By the time you make it to the staircase, you are at a full-on sprint. You curse the snake as you, indeed, climb 2 steps at a time, just like he said you would. Gotta save my boy! Things are off to a bad start. You haven't even begun your task, and you're already jumping through Argos loops. You arrive at the master's quarters, where Asterion is already dressed and waiting for you with a somber face. He is biting his lip, holding himself from asking any questions while you catch your breath. Good morning, Asterion! Oh, I hate stairs. Good morning, master. How did it go? Well, I have good news and bad news. You catch Asterion up on everything Argus told you, the contract, the bottle, your task, and the 2-day limit. You expected him to perk up when hearing about the wine bottle, but it seems like he contained his excitement, as if he was expecting the inevitable caveat. So yeah, we have 2 days to go get the bottle. I decided to come ask you what I'd be up against, instead of going to the labyrinth right away. Asterion ponders on the situation for a moment, before his face eases into a smile. Strained, with a lot of baggage behind it, but a smile nonetheless. I appreciate your concern, master, but I don't think the bottle is worth the trouble. The labyrinth houses a lot of dangers I would rather you be spared from. I can heal just fine on my own. I will just take longer. But I want to help you. No, I mean it. If I can help you get back to your former self, I will do everything I can. There's also the matter of the internet project. I think this will distract us from getting it finished. I fear that if we do not focus on it, we will lose some guests, or even worse, fail to attract them in the first place. But this is urgent. We have a dilemma in our hands, then. If we have to choose between one or the other, I suggest we focus on the internet project. Wait a minute. Maybe we can multitask. Multitask? Well, we have you, Coda, and me. Maybe we can split the task between us 3? Asterion flinches. I would very much prefer not to be sent to the valley, master. Besides, I had a conversation with Luke. I know he is upset with Kota, but maybe he can help with the other task. I know he has his issues, but after last night, he might be willing to help. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe we should all meet at the lobby then? As you command, master. I will go look for them right away. Half an hour later. Oh, I always forget what your voice is supposed to sound like. Who are you today? I really wish I could give you an Uncle Iroh voice. I'm just not capable of mastering that. This is preposterous. The nerve. I will happily leave my post at the restaurant to help you, Mr. Rukari, but I expect respect in return. So far, 15 minutes of my time have been wasted by this oaf. Kota, I know you're both upset at each other, but can we please keep it civil? This is important. All I'm saying is we can get started right away, just you, Asterion, and I. I cannot fathom any task that cannot be performed without... Oh, good morning, Mr. Asterion. Good morning, Mr. Walker. Yeah, shut your trap. Don't act like I didn't just hear you talking shit. Howdy, Rukari. Sorry for the delay. Asterion took a sweet time finding me. I wasn't exactly in my room, let's just say. So what's this about? I was getting horny. Well, we have a situation on our hands. As you are both aware, we're doing everything possible to establish an internet connection in the hotel. Dang, that's some good news there. I haven't talked about mine in a hot minute. It is, but we seem to have stumbled into another problem that needs our attention. And it looks like we're understaffed, which is why we called you, Luke. The Master will be going to the valley below the hotel today, and could use some assistance with it. And we also need to work on establishing the internet connection. There's 3 of us. I think we can be split into 2 teams. One will work on research and development, and the other will go explore the valley. Well, count on me, Rukari. Sure. As long as he's far away from me. Well, I'll be for once we agree on something. Sure, I think we can manage. I've already seen the tutorial for this, so I already know it's gonna be me and Lukey boy here in the wild wilderness. Although, it would be fun to try and find more mementos. I feel like right now surveying is slightly more important, and we're cumulatively going to find more if we explore with Bird Boy. Nope, not what I meant. You won't let me do that. They can't work together. With the 4 of you assigned to your roles, you bid Asterion and Kota farewell as Luke and you head towards the staircase leading to the valley. Nothing's gonna go wrong, right? So I'll let you know what the tricks were in Argos' little puzzle that he laid out for us. Because, of course that snaky bastard tried to trick us. The valley is laid bare ahead of you in all its curves. Rivers and rock strata snake across the landscape, guiding your vision to the orange and blue horizon. The air is somehow both chilly and humid. It blows against your chest and crawls around to your spine, making your hair stand up and your cheeks flush. The days spent inside the hotel have left you used to its sterile, stagnant odors. This land defies that entirely. The very scent is alive. A thick cloud of petrichor wafts up as if a light drizzle had just fallen over the valley. I love the smell of petrichor, along with a scent of herbs and shallow vegetation. You can't help but shiver as you take the final step towards the sun and out into the god's forsaken land. Luke and you follow the snake's instructions and set out to the east. For a while, conversation flows between the 2 of you. However, the hike ahead of you is long and arduous, and the sweltering sun refuses to yield. One can't keep talking for long under these circumstances. You settle into a rhythm and you fall into a trance. Leave a place unattended for too long and something thicker than silence takes root. It buries itself and leaves only its eyes out, peeking from the sand. It spreads its roots, grows branches, and blooms its flowers, and waits until a wandering soul passes by close enough to graze at its spine. It lowers its branches to grip you and pull you back to your place of belonging. They prickle the back of one's skull and raise the hairs at the nape of one's neck. I said it before, but you didn't hear me say it. The writing in this section is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it is so poetic, and props to the author for this, because just this scene alone is so beautiful to read. It wants you gone. These creatures do not welcome the living. Something as shy as one's breathing is enough to tense their branches, contracting them into gnarled talons. But trudge on. Once a place is taken over by these cobwebs, it is bound to take a while to banish them all. Claim the land, crush the pebbles under the might of your stampede. With your stomping gait, break them open to reveal the jagged flesh within. Leap on top of the precarious stones, feel them shifting and rebalancing under your weight. As they threaten to topple, jump off to the next, land soft-footed, and may your heel land without a peep from the rock. Taste your own swaying steps as you climb a soft sanded dune. Have no shame when it grows steep, but trudge on like a beast and slash your claws into the sand's tender chest. Rest your hand out as if it was a pagan ritual, and as if instead of stray sand, an enemy's lifeblood sprayed out. When your breath quickens and sweat drips from your brow, glance at the horizon and hear its cries against your might. Let rage simmer at the top of your throat, but swallow it and trudge on, champion. Know well, this is your valley, a cursed land bequeathed by the gods to humans to do with as they please. Its pebbles threaten to trip you, but are cleaved instead by your march. Its precarious stones shift back and forth to topple you, but are left turned and exposed. The vegetation reaches out to pull you back by the ankles and shoulders, but your will is sovereign. In your wake, all that is left are broken twigs and dried leaves. Have no mercy for this barren soil. Crush it under your heel. You are the realm's master, so let it fear your might. God, it gives me chills. Just as the sun reaches its apex, half a dozen structures crop up over the horizon. There is a human regularity to their placement. By then, your clothes are drenched and your face is caked with a layer of sweat, oil, and dirt, but no hunger gnaws away at you, nor do your eyes grow weary. In fact, the idea of reaching your goal and stopping makes you restless. As you approach, it becomes clear which one is the most decayed of them all. Some of its ceiling has collapsed, letting in a beam of sunlight. While Luke investigates the place, you search for the offering Argos described. You open the door of the cracked kiln. Light pours in and a rancid smell creeps out. It clings to your nostrils and tongue, a metallic, rank scent. It claws its way into your chest and flares the fire burning in you. The contents of your stomach boil up into your throat, and you cringe while trying to keep yourself together. The searing stench is unrelenting. It thrashes inside you, trying to grasp your heart until a groan brings you back to reality. Inside, there is a pit more than 6 feet deep, dug out a long time after the kiln's original construction. Something shifts inside the kiln, a dark shape whose every movement is accompanied by the rumble of rock groaning against itself. There's a head with eyes aimed at you and swinging from left to right like someone trapped in a convulsion. The whole thing shudders as it comes back to life and throws an arm in your direction, but shrieks against the light coming from behind you. You jerk back in fright. In doing so, swinging the door open further, the thing recoils, shrieks again, and falls down into ruined weeping as its shape is revealed. It's pitch black and made out of stone, but its form is human. In fact, it has the bountiful curves and long flowing hair of a woman. So if you think back, Argus suggested that our offering was something hard and not unlike coal. Well, you're supposed to sacrifice a bundle of flesh, but it's meant to make you think that it's the statue of the woman because she's made out of a black stone like coal would be. Below the waist there is nothing. Her legs have been smashed away and only dark clumps of jagged rock remain. The thing switches back and forth between recoiling from the light and throwing its arms in your direction. But even if it lunged at you, it would fail. The pit is too deep for the stone woman to reach you in her legless state. It is only then that you look downwards, to a little bundle of leaves waiting for you a few inches away from the door. It fits Argos' description. This must be what he wants you to sacrifice, so this is like some kind of rotted, petrified flesh. You obtained a bundle. You take the bundle and close the door behind you.
Holy shit, partner, be more careful next time!
Yeah, it was scary! I think my curiosity got the best of me. I shouldn't have looked so far, but I got the bundle, I suppose. I'm guessing this is...
Listen, Rukari, I think it would be best if I handle this just in case more critters jump at you and you ain't so lucky. May not look it, but your old pal Luke's been through some shit. Tougher shit than this.
I'm pretty sure you were in the military judging by your dog tag, so I believe you. You sure?
Sure, I got this. You should get your ass back to the hotel.
You let Luke explore the rest of the kilns and get ready for the long walk back to the hotel. Oh, right, before I forget, Luke, Argos said something about looking behind the kilns. You might want to check that out.
Will do, pal. Just don't die or anything.
The expedition took you long enough, and if you don't want to be out here at nightfall, you need to return soon. You pack up and set out for home. Your first stop when arriving at the hotel is the lounge. Since you've spent the last week in a place where food and drink are always at your disposal, you haven't felt this thirsty in a very long while. Your next stop is the master's quarters. You take a long shower to wash away all the grime and tension, and then sit on the couch to rest and reflect on the day. The bundle is sitting on the dinner table. Every once in a while, your thoughts drift back to it and how little time you have left to sacrifice it. You could only hope that Luke discovered something that might help. After a while, you decide to go check on your team's progress. Let's check in on the R&D team. Your R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Let's check in on the exploration team. Your team got really lucky and found 6 raw materials, twice what you expected. Good going, bird boy. Other than that, your exploration team didn't make any big discoveries. By the way, did you get a chance to look behind the kiln?
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting another one of those things to come jumping out at me, but I did find something there.
Luke hands you a clay tablet. You obtained a clay tablet revealing the hybrid's despondency. You can read it by opening the files in the menu. Alrighty, so we're caught up, we've checked in on everything. Dinner is coming up shortly, and I think this is as good a spot as any to pause for this episode as I try to recover and recuperate my lost footage. I'm sure this went faster than the last time I recorded it, at least, so, you know, we're gonna be hopeful that we just knock this out and I get back to where I wanted to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like. I hope you're enjoying the Minotaur Hotel. We're finally getting to some of the hotel management stuff, which is nice, and hopefully we can make this a beautiful, thriving place. I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye!